start to get cute and look inside, Matt. Goes right around the corner.
Tyler Thigpen gets his first start for Miami after coming off the bench last week. Throws on first down, feeds it to Brandon Marshall. It's a gain of 9 on the play. We take a look at Tyler Thigpen, the first starting quarterback at Coastal Carolina in 2003 as they started their program, drafted by the Vikings, wound up in Kansas City. In 2009, Bill Parcells traded for him, brought him here to Miami with the Dolphins. 20 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Came off the bench last week, took 6-12 to help secure the win against Tennessee. Brandon Marshall shaken up on the last play. Ronnie Brown, the tailback, on a 2nd and 1. First down as he takes on safety Chris Harris, who makes the tackle. Well, take a look at the starting offensive unit for the Miami Dolphins, ranked 16th in the league. Vernon Carey, the right tackle. They're playing without their starting center tonight, Joe Berger, so Corey Proctor gets the start. Jake Long battling a shoulder injury. Ronnie Brown, 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. Brandon Marshall with only 1 touchdown catch this season. On a 1st and 10 from the Chicago 35. Hartline goes in motion. And around, fumbled by Hartline, and he pounces on it at the 44-yard line. It'll be a loss of 8 on the play.
Right now, the Chicago Bears know that the Miami Dolphins not only have a new quarterback, but they also have a new center and an injured left tackle. And as you look at the fumble, the thing you have to know is the Bears dropped a safety down, which is very uncharacteristic of them. They like to play with both safeties back and handle the run game with the front 7. Knowing that the Dolphins are going to have to rely on the run game, they're going to load up their defensive front.
2nd and 18 after the loss of 8. Ricky Williams is checked in as Fasano goes in motion. For the Bears, 44. Thigpen, Hartline, a gain of 4 on the play. DJ Moore, 2nd-year player out of Vanderbilt, on the tackle. Here's the defense for the Miami Dolphins. The big acquisition, the signing of Julius Peppers in the offseason. 32 tackles on the season. Lance Briggs playing great football. Brian Urlacher played just 1 game last year. Good secondary with Tim Jennings, Chris Harris, Danielle Manning, and Charles Peanut Tillman in his 8th year out of Louisiana Lafayette. Third and 15 on the opening possession. Thigpen under pressure, runs out of a sack, and then gets dropped by Henry Melton at the 44-yard line. It's a loss of 4.
You start talking about Chicago Bear defense, the whole basis of this defense is play coverage and rush with 4. And they're able to get pressure here with their 4. Melton just off the edge.
He's one of these guys that's going to fight you all night long. He's a rookie, but they like his upside. They'll run it to Ricky Williams, and Williams picks up 2. Well, since the win on Sunday against Tennessee, Miami has had more than just a short week. Chad Pennington was lost in the first quarter, 2 passes into the game. Chad Henne comes in, hurts his knee in the 3rd quarter. Tyler Thigpen comes in and finishes up the game. So they bring in 5 quarterbacks on Monday. Eventually, they sign 2. Patrick Ramsey to the active roster, Tom Brandstater to the practice squad, and Chad Pennington placed on injured reserve. Not what you want on a short week. Devon Bess in space out across the 40, back to the original line of scrimmage. Brandon Fields able to pin Hester back at the 12 the last time. Middle of the field and returnable. Hester with a lane. Dragged down by Fields at the 38-yard line. I guess if you kick a bad ball, you better make the tackle. 42-yard punt, 23-yard return. 60s and 70s. Second offensive possession for the Bears here in Miami from their own 39. Matt Forte with the edge. Into Dolphin territory and tripped up by Bell after a gain of 21. Good patient run by Matt Forte.
What a nice job by the left side. They just cave it down. Greg Olson, 82, their tight end. He comes around and just gets a little bit of a push, and then you don't quite understand how fast Matt Forte is until he gets around Jeremiah Bell, and he's almost out the gate. But Greg Olson has really developed into a much more complete football player than just a pass catcher.
On the Miami 40, 1st and 10, Chicago. Cutler, Olson, knocked down at the 33 after a gain of 7. Sean Smith on the tackle. Looks like he flexed his knees a little bit.
A little flexed.
So 3rd and 7 with Hester in motion. Cutler with plenty of time. Johnny Knox, 1st down.
You said it right there. Cutler with plenty of time, and there's a difference. And I think what they've done with this offensive line with Mike Tice, the offensive line coach, has been very good. They took Williams, they put him to guard from tackle. They put the rookie 73 Webb to the right. And then they put Frank Omiel from the right tackle to the left. And they've solidified themselves the last 2 weeks, and there is a big difference with this offensive line in terms of protection.
Gain of 11, 33rd catch of the season for Knox. 1st down, Chicago. Forte hit by Dansby after a gain of 4. Carlos Dansby in his 7th year out of Auburn, one of the big free agent tickets on the market in the offseason, winds up in Miami. 69 tackles coming into tonight.
The one thing you're noticing from Miami's front three is they're getting penetration. They're redirecting the back. It just so happens that the linebackers getting blocked a little bit, and they're picking up 2-3 yards. But they're getting some really good penetration against this rebuilt Chicago offensive line.
Olson in his fullback as Forte takes the handoff right to the teeth of the defense. And a yard, and that's it. Tony McDaniel on the tackle, 5th-year pro out of Tennessee. Well, you know, Jay Cutler, when he came to Chicago, it came with a lot of fanfare. In the off-season of 2009, Cutler, in his 5th year out of Vanderbilt, wired for Kyle Orton, 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick. They thought they'd have their quarterback wishes and wants solved. It hasn't been as smooth for Chicago to this point.
But it will be.
Orton's playing his rear end off.
3rd and 5. Cutler sacked by Wake. And now the scramble begins at the 30.
It was just pure speed off Jamarcus Webb, the rookie. Cameron Wake is as good as anyone in this league at his explosive 2nd step. He'll get to the edge, and then he has a great burst.
I think Chris Williams recovered the fumble after Wake gets his 9th sack.
Watch this. Get to the edge. Now, go. Boom. See that burst? That's what separates him from a lot of pass rushers. He can stay low. He's got great hips and can bend.
Take the 1st down off the board. 3rd and 7. Big Pen underthrows it, and it's intercepted. Charles Tillman dragged down by Bess at the 44.
I believe that one got tipped at the line again. Another ball gets tipped up in the air. He can't get everything on it, and they wind up with the interception.
That's just good disciplined defense by the Chicago Bears.
Tillman's 3rd pick of the year.
Holy smokes, looks like he stuffed himself into that helmet, too.
Taylor remains in the game on a 3rd and 9. Earl Bennett works on Al Harris and has the 1st down as Dansby makes the tackle after a gain of 13.
That's a case of Jay Cutler understanding the down and distance, what the defense is trying to do. He sees the pressure come off the right side, doesn't even go to the fake. They go out and block it, he gets it outside. Earl Bennett makes a move on Al Harris, and he winds up with the 1st down.
And what did Jay Cutler tell us yesterday? He said, you know what? The one thing about Earl Bennett, he's reliable. I know he's going to be in the right spot all the time. Both guys played at Vanderbilt. From the Miami 32, first and 10, Chicago. Final seconds of the first quarter. Cutler works middle of the field, has another first down on the pass to Johnny Knox, gain of 10.
And guys, now there's something you don't see very much anymore. Quarterbacks backing out. When I played in the system that Mike Martz has here under Joe Gibbs, he allowed us to back out, to see the entire field. With the quickness of Jay Cutler's arm, it's advantageous for him to see everything in front of him, be able to plant and fire and get.
After a Charles Tillman interception. 3rd and 3 for Cutler in Chicago. Hester in motion. Fastball to the 20, and Hester has a first down. It's a gain of 6.
He looks so smooth. I mean, Jay Cutler just goes back in a comfort zone. One of the things he commented on that struck me with regards, we were talking about the offensive line moving around and everything, Matt, but he said he's very comfortable with Mike Martz's offense. It's just a question of everybody else getting as comfortable as he is.
Generally, his offense is run screens very well.
And he's so enthusiastic about the upside of this team as they get better and better each week. Cutler. Inside the 20. Near the sticks. And he's got the first down of the 9.
Bobby, that is an element that everyone seems to forget about Jay Cutler. This guy has mobility. He can make you miss, and he's decisive. Watch, he wants to throw it. His eyes are always down, but once he makes a decision, that's a good runner.
Well, he's ran for 144 yards this year. Last week against the Vikings, as an example, critical situations, ran for 24. But that's bad defense, because the Dolphins rushed 3 and dropped 8, and they couldn't stop Jay Cutler from picking up 15-plus yards.
10th play of the drive. Taylor restarts. Bell on the tackle at the 5, along with Vontae Davis after a gain of 4. Big Pen, 3 of 7 for 22 yards and a pick. Feeds Marshall again, turns around Tillman, has a first down before he's run out after a gain of 13.
The Chicago Bears will show you a cover 2 shell. They'll play the corners up, safeties back a little bit, and then they'll run back to the middle. They'll go quarter halves. What happens is he slips a little bit. Nice job by Brandon Marshall. That was a makeup for him. Dan Henning gave him another opportunity to be able to make a play.
Now, flag came in late, as we'll check with Bill Levy.
After the play, taunting, number 19 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10 after the enforcement.
He throws it to Jay Cutler, his former teammate in Denver.
That's just downright stupid. It's stupid. It's unprofessional. It's not smart football. Your offense is struggling. You've already dropped the ball, and now you cost them another 15.
And he did the same thing last week, Brandon Marshall did against Tennessee.
You want to be an all-pro, you want to be a star in this league, act like one.
So it's 1st and 10 Miami now from the 25. Even when they get a first down, they go backwards. Hartline with the catch, hit by Harris at the 49. It's a gain of 24.
That was the same throw that was picked off by Tillman earlier. Same coverage, cover 2. He's trying to get on top of this corner and in front of the safety. And so what happens is Hartline's able to get on top because Jennings doesn't redirect him, never gets his hands on him, and he's able to make that throw.
Sweet move in front of Jennings, though, huh?
Really nice.
I mean, nice feet to get up on top.
Hartline in his 2nd year out of Ohio State, a 4th-round draft pick last season. 36 catches this year, including tonight. Ricky Williams will lose 2. For an injury update, we check in with Alex Flanagan.
Hey, Bob. Well, tonight's starting center Corey Proctor for the Dolphins has been in the locker room since he was injured on the Dolphins' second possession in this game. Remember, he's starting in place of Joe Berger, who was inactive in this game. He came off of the field wincing in a lot of pain. They looked to splint his leg almost. They wrapped it all up. They're calling it a knee injury. So right now, Tyler Thigpen, who was the third-string quarterback 5 days ago, is now getting the ball from his guard.
Well, when it rains, it pours, and it rained on the offensive line and the injury bug with Miami in the span of 4 days. Thigpen to Marshall, can't reel it in at the 32.
You know, one of the most underrated corners in this league, Tillman. He is a really good player. Why is he good? He's very disciplined. He's an outstanding tackler. He plays the coverage very, very well. And like the coaches told us yesterday, Lovie Smith said, I have no idea how he gets the ball out of ball carriers. He said, it's so impressive. We studied ourselves. We still can't figure it out.
Miami's 0 for 3 on third down. This will be their third attempt of 9 or more yards. Thigpen can't run away from Henry Melton after a gain of 6.
That's not bad.
First possession started at the 12. This time Jay Cutler and company from their own 6. Forte, the running back, as Cutler will throw to Matt Forte. Gets past Vontae Davis and picks up 4 on the play. Well, Jay Cutler has been able to manage diabetes for more. We send it to Alex Flanagan.
He sure has, Bob. He was diagnosed with a disease about 3 years ago, and coming into Miami knowing that it's going to be a little bit more humid and hot down here, he really has to pay attention to his insulin levels. After the first series of this game, he went over to the sidelines, checked his levels. They were good. You'll see him doing that throughout the night, but I think that's the key, is he's really learned how to manage it as a pro playing with diabetes.
2nd and 6, Forte gets a yard. The other thing is he has to manage his diet very closely, including his pregame meal. No carbs, protein, a lot of vegetables, and only water during the game, not any kind of sugary drinks.
I watched Matt manage his diet last week. It was the biggest burger I've ever seen in my life. You managed to get it down in a very short period of time.
I'm good at managing
yes,
it that
you are
way.
managing that
Very
way.
good.
Third and 5 from the Chicago 11. Cutler with a deep drop. Has it underneath. Devin Hester, first down. Benny Sapp chasing in the coverage, but it's a gain of 15.
Remember, there are routes that take a lot of time, and crossing routes are one of them. And when you need time to develop the route, you have to be able to have the time to throw it. And again, nice protection by Cutler. Nobody around him. He can step and throw. Hester gets it into stride.
And you don't have to use speed up the field.
Franco Lama Francis, third-year player out of Hawaii. Cutler finds some time. He'll run it again. Puts his shoulder down. Hits Kendall Langford and Channing Crowder and picks up 5.
One of the things that Jay Cutler told us last night about managing his diabetes was the adrenaline and how that affects the insulin levels. And I think it's important to note that, and I lost a brother to diabetes. And at that time, managing diabetes was a big deal. And it still is a big deal, but I think it's so much more prevalent now. You can go out, play sports. It's for people who have the disease, it's important to see guys like Cutler, who at a high level can manage it and play well and still live a normal life.
Very diligent with his medications. Johnny Knox on a 3rd and 4 has a first down and a gain of 12.
Well, what's been phenomenal here tonight, Joe, he's been hot as a firecracker on 3rd down.
It's the same route that he threw to Devin Hester in the last series when they got the last field goal. It's just a quick slant outside. Miami brings pressure in his face, and by backing out, it's not a problem to see where the pressure's coming from. And then that quick flick of the wrist that he has, ball's out, completion, first down.
Kept the 3rd down manageable. This time on a 1st and 10, Greg Olson picks up about 11 into Miami territory. Gain of 11. When you take a look at the Chicago Bears, we've talked about the quarterbacks. They've had a dearth of big play wide receivers. In fact, a running back, Walter Payton, is the franchise's all-time leading receiver. And now they have a group of young players like Johnny Knox and Earl Bennett, and they use Devin Hester as a guy to make big plays for this offense.
But they still don't have the big man. They still don't have a big man receiver.
From the Miami 46, Matt Forte skips inside the 40 and picks up 11 more.
Matt, what you're talking about, they don't have a big-time receiver, and I think that's good for this offense. Jay Cutler got so mesmerized with Brandon Marshall when he was in Detroit, or in Denver, he threw the ball to him no matter what the circumstances are. Now, in this offense, without that big-time guy, he spreads the ball around. I mean, Knox had 32 coming in, Hester 24, Olson 24, Forte 30. It's very difficult to defend an offense when you're spreading it around to a lot of different people.
And now here I am in the NFL sacking quarterbacks.
And weighing 250.
Cutler on the play action. Underthrows it. Intercepted by Benny Sapp.
He was trying.
Cutler's road woes continue. So the Bears turn it over. Thigpen to work. Brandon Marshall with a 1st down to the 48-yard line of Chicago. Gain of 19.
We said earlier that if he wants to get comfortable, now Brandon Marshall's coming up limping a little bit, he had to find Marshall.
Now he's got to get off the field or else you're going to lose the timeout. So Miami gets charged the timeout with 1:25 to go in the half. Low snap. Thigpen hit and dropped from behind by Julius Peppers.
This is where you need to be smarter. Just throw the ball away. It's 1st and 10. I mean, you've got a new center. You want to just make everybody calm. Everybody settle down. You get away. There's nowhere to go with the football. Throw it away. Fasano's not open. Throw it away.
It ends a 5-game drought for sacks for Peppers, and then Thigpen's pass incomplete, intended for Patrick Cobbs. Stops the clock with 57 seconds to go in the half.
Boy, I'll tell you, the Bears are coming off the edges hard right now. Israel Adonijah on that last one, and Julius Peppers, they got great pressure up the field and forced him to have to step up. But he still had time. Thigpen had time to be able to manage the pocket and make a better throw.
Only one touchdown in the final 2 minutes of the 1st half this season. Miami faces another 3rd and long. This is their 4th 3rd down attempt of 9 or more yards. They're 0 for 3. Throws it behind Ricky Williams, and it's intercepted. Lance Briggs. 3rd pick, or was it?
No. See the difference in this one as opposed to the last one? He did not have control when the ball hit the ground. It moved up inside his arms.
Down. I mean, he is running 1,000 miles an hour. He needs to take a deep breath at halftime and just relax.
Bears will run it with Matt Forte, and he picks up 9 with 40 seconds to go.
Hey, the other part of that equation is the Bears are playing good defense.
Scoreboard now.
Forte, the tailback. Cutler on a play fake. Gorgeous fake. Has his man, Johnny Knox. 1st down, gain of 16.
Well, this is just a well-designed play, and Cutler's able to find Knox sitting down in the hole. Now you're going to watch Knox run all the way across, and the whole key to this is to sit down. It's a zone, but quarterback and receiver have to be on the same page. Anticipate the hole, find the hole by the receiver.
Knox 4 catches, 48 yards. They'll run it with Forte. Gains the edge and dragged down by Wake, but not after he gains nearly 10.
Oh, he does such a sweet job of sidestepping Sean Smith, number 24 of the Dolphins. Comes up in pursuit, just like he's supposed to, and you think he's going to go down, Forte's going to go down, and all of a sudden, he's gone by him. Look at this move. Playing outside, throw your body down, and absolutely stone-cold miss him.
Well, let me just tell you, that is a pathetic job of tackling by Sean Smith.
Gain of 9, second and short. Forte with a first down inside the 40 to the 38. Gain of 7.
And this is where I think Chris Williams has gotten better and will continue to get better. They moved him from tackle to guard. You're going to see him right here, number 74. And he has good movement for a big man. This time he just comes right back up inside. Now he doesn't hit anybody, but what he does do is clear the way for Forte to follow him through.
Is that what you call creating a lane?
Yes.
His big body.
You are the lane.
Feed Forte again. Cameron Wake with the tackle and a loss of 2.
This kid's been a beast all night long. I mean, they've asked him to rush the passer, he's done that. They've asked him in the run game to be a factor, he's done that. Watch Cameron Wake at the top. This is just taking on and forcing your runner back inside. So you're taking something away and let your buddies inside come down there. And then when it comes time to rush the passer, this burst right there. Sink your hips, get underneath, get leverage, and then that burst is what gets you the sack.
He has a sack, and he's also forced 2 offensive holding penalties. Cutler nearly intercepted at the 20-yard line by Carlos Dansby.
Carlos Dansby has this one on the run, turning, and he still should be running. Jay Cutler feels like his arm can force it into a window. Obviously, Carlos Dansby was never in his life a receiver. Goes right off his hand.
Carlos Dansby is one of the best pass defenders for linebackers in the NFL. He has a great feel for getting depth and reading routes and also getting a feel for quarterback's eyes. That's as good, I think, as there is in this league.
Not catching the ball.
He's got to work on that part.
That part.
Bears have hit 2 of 3 third down attempts of 9 or more yards. 3rd and 12. Cutler buys time with his legs, will not get to the sticks as the defense pursued. Tony McDaniel was chasing.
I'll be interested to see what they do right here, if they're going to kick it or go for it, because their defense has been playing well. He's going to try a field goal.
Robbie Gould comes out. Cutler can't convert. Lovie Smith trying to push the lead to 9.
This is a good job by Cutler of getting good enough yardage to be able to try a 50-yard kick, which is well within the range of Gould.
Well, he's 1 for 2 from this distance, but he's only 3 for 6 from 49, so it's not a lot.
Gould from 50, Maynard to hold. Good snap, plenty of leg, and he drills it.
Where did Gould go to school again?
Here we go again. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, Penn State.
Thank you.
2 quarterbacks since 2000. Big Pen, Hartline, first down. Nearly ran out of the tackle of Tillman. Harris finished it up, gain of 16.
He's had that a few times tonight. There's his coach right there. We were talking to Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, and he said Chad Pennington is invaluable. They said he had this bad shoulder, so he was telling the guys what to do. Chad Henne had the good arm. He was writing it down, and they both were coaching Thigpen and the young quarterback.
And Ramsey.
Yeah.
Patrick Ramsey was signed on Monday. Ronnie Brown picks up 2. Julius Peppers on the tackle. You know, the other thing about it was Tony Sperano had Chad Pennington in his office on Monday talking about, you know, take some time and reevaluate what you want to do with your career, talk with your family, because he's had these persistent shoulder injuries. And they had a little cry together and they had a long visit. And then Chad looked up and said, I think you probably need me downstairs, right? And Tony said, yeah, I do. We got Ramsey coming in. You got to coach him up because we have to coach up Tyler Thigpen. 2nd and 8, low snap from incognito. Thigpen stumbles to the 40 and picks up 3. As we check in with Alex.
Bob, I got to talk to Chad Pennington in the pregame, and he said about his shoulder injury to me, you know, there's only so many times you can hurt your shoulder. Maybe there's a message being sent to me. He hasn't decided yet what he's going to do in terms of his future. He is going to take a little time. Of course, coaching might be an option for him, but Bob, I'm trying to talk him into maybe the TV route.
That is an excellent coach in waiting right there.
Of course you want him to coach. You don't want him in TV.
Oh, he could. If I could do it, anybody could do it. But this is a really good coach. Got to be a good coach.
3rd and 5. Adonijay with the pressure, and he gets the sack. Loss of 13.
Vernon Carey did not stand a chance against Adonijay. He just comes hard off the edge. Thigpen has it flash in his face. He tries to get outside, and he stumbles trying to get outside. Just comes around, doesn't get out, goes for his legs, can't make it. Tyler's
with a 9-0 lead, 9:23 to go in the 3rd. Cutler 11 of 18 for 106 yards and 1 catch. Forte picks up 9 on the play. Good block by Earl Bennett. You know, we talked about Miami and their search for the replacement for Dan Marino and their 15 quarterbacks in the last 10 years. Well, the Chicago Bears have been looking as well. Cade McNown, Jim Miller, Shane Matthews, Henry Burris, Chris Chandler, 03 and 04, Cordell Stewart, Rex Grossman, who did take them to a Super Bowl, Jonathan Quinn, Craig Krenzel, now Kyle Orton, Brian Greasy, Todd Collins, and now Jay Cutler. They made the big trade to solve that question that they've had at that position for over a decade. First down, run by Forte as he moves the chains with 8.5 to go in the 3rd.
This is a position on the field where Mike Martz is willing to take a shot. They know that the Dolphins offensively haven't been able to threaten. You had a shot at Devin Hester earlier in the game. It was underthrown. He missed the opportunity for the touchdown. Here would be another one where you go a little bit of play action, take your shot down the field, and let the guys outside, Johnny Knox and Devin Hester, go get it.
Hester to the top of the screen. They'll run it instead with Forte. Bounces it outside and tripped up at the 40-yard line by Randy Starks, gain of 9.
You know, Matt Forte burst onto the scene his rookie year, and then his numbers went down a year ago. But I got to tell you, this guy is one of the most deceiving runners in this league. He's a lot faster than people think. He's got good strength, and he has a little bit of a make you miss in him. In the middle of that route, he just changed his speed, and that's what drew the penalty.
4th penalty accepted against Miami. Cutler to throw again. To the sideline. Olsen with a great catch. And it's good for 12.
That's a phenomenal catch by Greg Olsen, the University of Miami product out of Wayne, New Jersey. Look at him go down here. That's as good as it gets.
But look at where the ball is placed.
Really well thrown.
I mean, Jeremiah Bell is right there, and Olsen does a good job of controlling the ball as he goes out of bounds.
And then he shows it to the official.
What?
50 offensive plays for Chicago. They've controlled the time of possession. 2 for 4 between 5 and 8 yards on 3rd down attempts. Olsen makes it 3 for 5, a first down, Chicago.
That is a great job of receiver and quarterback being on the same page from the high. He thinks he's going to get pressure. You throw to the vacated area. It happens right away, and he has the wherewithal to be able to get that first down.
Plus, it's an easy throw because he gets it out before the linebacker can get over and cover Dansby.
First and goal, Chicago. From the 8. Forte takes it to the 6. Channing Crowder on the tackle after a gain of 2.
This Miami defense now has been on the field for a long time.
Well, time of possession, 28 minutes and 35 seconds. And Chicago's had it almost this entire quarter. Some of that has to do with the ineptness of Miami's offense.
No, it has to do with the ineptness of Tyler Thigpen, Bob. He has not played the position of quarterback in a way that has allowed their team to at least pick up a first down.
They've abandoned the run game, too, which has surprised me.
Run blitz on a second and goal. Forte pinballs his way down to the 2. Jeremiah Bell from the safety spot made the tackle after a gain of 4.
Jeremiah Bell has been an active guy here tonight. They like to bring him with blitzes. He's good down around the line of scrimmage. He's a good, solid tackler. Made some plays in the pass game.
Can Miami keep them out of the end zone again? Chicago's had to settle for 3 field goals. 3rd and goal from the 2.
Throw the fade up top to Johnny Knox.
Or give to Forte. Touchdown, Chicago.
That would have been a touchdown.
Good execution. You mentioned it earlier, Bob, that the offensive line for Chicago was starting to wear on that defensive front. And this is where it's paid off. Again, short yardage goal line, tough guy football. And there is, look at this. This is a beautiful lane to run through.
Frank Omiel with the great.
After he threw a completion.
A big completion.
19-yard completion, yeah. But Tony Sperano said, when I saw Chad coming out, I knew it wasn't good. 3rd and 8. Big Pen. First down. Heartline to the 45-yard line.
Guys, that was composure. That's the first time that Tyler Thigpen got outside the pocket. Watch how he gathers himself when he gets outside the pocket. Set, turn your hips, slow down, make a good accurate throw, lead the receiver inside. That's a real nice job.
And it was a real patient job because he allowed Hartline to slide and find a hole in his own.
Patrick Cobbs with a gain of a couple. Brian Urlacher.
Right now, the guys in the left box are doing it to the guys in the right box.
One of the reasons why the Dolphins are 1 for 7 on 3rd downs. 4 attempts have been of 9 or more yards. They're 0 for 4. And Thigpen gets sacked by Urlacher.
Great call by Rod Marinelli. He showed him his zone in the back end, and then he brought Urlacher right up inside.
And Richie Incognito moved over from guard to center, and they come right up the middle. He goes right in between them. Cognito slides over, Urlacher comes around. Cognito still doesn't know that he's gone by. And that's the biggest thing. When you change the center,
by the Jets. Bears in total control. Chester Taylor gets about a half yard. Cameron Wake on the tackle. Well, you know, the Jay Cutler is one of those real lightning rods based on the way he wound up leaving Denver in the dispute with Josh McDaniels and owner Pat Bowlen. They moved heaven and earth to bring him to Chicago, looking for that guy to lead the franchise. Guys, is he that guy?
I think he is, and I think he marries up very well with what Mike Martz wants to do offensively. He talked about being very comfortable in this offense. It's just a question of the weapons getting comfortable enough. I believe he can be a franchise quarterback here.
Second and 9, middle of the field. Devin Hester, first down to the 36. Gain of 13.
Yeah, he has franchise skills, but for me, the whole thing comes down to winning. As you can take all the numbers, you can take all the stats, throw that crap out. You got to prove you're a winner consistently. And I think with Mike Martz, he's got a chance with this offense. Keep in mind, they're all still learning this. This is only the 10th week into the season. They will continue to get better as they have to this point in the season. They'll continue to grow, and Cutler will get better.
Olin Kreutz, the center, talked about the details, and everybody's starting to understand the details of what has to be done. Cutler, Hester, brought down hard by Vontae Davis after a gain of 9.
I've been asked before, what's the best attribute a quarterback can have? And Jay Cutler has a defense, because they're going to bail you out. They've been in 4 games this year of the 9 that have been decided by 3 points. They've won 2 and lost 2, but he has a defense that, if he does get a little sideways, has a chance to bail him out. He also has a great kick return guy who can create field position for him. They start the best in the National Football League from a field position standpoint, so lots of things going for him in a positive way.
Second and short. Chester Taylor, first down to the 41, but there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
And that's going to be Webb again for his third hold of the night.
73 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeats that.
.com/mobile to learn more. Off the Chicago timeout, second and 12. Chester Taylor finds a cutback lane and takes it to the 39 and picks up 5 on the play.
You know, just buried in the middle of that, Cameron Wake makes a pretty darn good play. And he has to, because Mike Tice, I think, has gotten this offensive line solidified. And one of the things, I was speaking to Mike earlier, and he said, you know, everybody talks about the learning curve for the players and learning this offense. He said, and that's true. But there's just as big a learning curve for us coaches to have to learn not only the offense, but what our guys can do in it. I think he's done a good job.
3rd and 7 for Cutler. Under pressure, gets sacked back at the 31-yard line. Quentin Moses, who's celebrating his 27th birthday today, gets the sack.
That time, Jay held the ball a little bit longer than Frank Omiel thought he was going to. Left side, you watch right there. He takes him outside, step up. You have to either step up and run forward. You can't go lateral.
7 possessions, 6 first downs for the Dolphins. Thigpen, chased by Briggs, goes airborne, and Urlacher makes the tackle after a gain of 7.
When we had a chance to sit with Lovie Smith last night, he made 2 points. He said, number 1, we can't let them run the football. They haven't done that. Number 2, we want to make Tyler Thigpen try and beat us. They've done that and contained him very well, and they've turned him into a runner.
Coach Smith showing the nimble feet as Thigpen gets hit, and the play is blown dead. So it's ruled a sack for Peppers, his second of the ball game.
That was a bit of a gift. That was a thankful quick whistle, because Tyler was trying to get out and do something, and he wound up having the ball go on the ground, and the whistle saved him.
And they picked up the flag, and they spotted at the 20-yard line.
This has been a little exciting with Richie Incognito snapping in the gun tonight.
So the 5th sack of Thigpen. He's the backup to the backup. Middle of the field and late. Intended for Best, and Peppers took a shot from his own man.
Why is Julius Peppers defending a pass? They like to use him in zone blitz schemes because of his athleticism.
Punt right to the sideline to Hester. He can operate in small spaces. Hester into Miami territory. 53-yard punt. Return of 34. There is a flag on the play. It's 16-0 Chicago. Devon Best in motion. Thigpen on a play fake. Avoids the pressure. Gonna run, chased by Melton. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Well, this defense has been ferocious, and Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator, brings a certain level of accountability, doesn't he?
Well, one of the things he does, he wants everybody getting to the ball. And when you put this tape on for the Chicago Bears, you see that. Pursuit, they're relentless, and he marks and grades every play, including effort. And one of the things that is one of his pet peeves is if you loaf, you cannot play for him. This guy will grade every single step you take.
2nd and 6. Thigpen. Ronnie Brown, who's been quiet, has a first down to the 45. So, Matt, what is a loaf?
Well, glad you asked, because Rod defines it 5 different ways. The first thing, number 1, is you cannot pass up a hit. If you run, and then the second one is change of speed. So if you're running and then all of a sudden you have to speed up to make the play, that's a loaf. If you stay on the ground, it's okay to get knocked down and get back up. If you get passed by a teammate going to tackle somebody, that's a loaf. And if you Velcro onto somebody, that means if you get blocked and stay blocked, that's a loaf. Now, you want to hear some funny stuff, start talking to the players in the defense about getting graded for loafs. We talked to Tillman the other night, and just talking to him, he's like, getting passed by a teammate. Julius Peppers runs by everybody.
Thigpen sacked by Peppers back at the 38.
And that surely was not a loaf.
Loss of 6 on the play. On the previous play, right tackle Vernon Carey went out, so Lyden Murph is now in at right tackle.
And he gets a heavy dose right here of Julius Peppers, and that's just too easy.
And they have just run out of linemen to be able to play in different positions. That was the last of the active linemen for this game. So,
yeah, and it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And right now, they're playing with others.
6 sacks on Thigpen. Screen. Ronnie Brown to the 44. Lance Briggs on the tackle after a gain of 5.
If you see the end of that play, you'll see 5 or 6 Chicago Bears around the ball all the time. And that goes back to the relentless nature that they preach with this defense. And, you know, I don't want to get too thick here with the hyperbole, but when you put the tape on, it's evident. And we all sat down and watched and said, look at these guys, man, they're flying to the football. That is preached by Rod Marinelli.
And another 3rd and long for Miami. They're 0 for 6 in 9+. Ronnie Brown hit by Tillman. No loaf in there. Tackled at the 49-yard line. So you're down 16. There's 4:38 to go.
You go for it.
Who has to go for it?
You go for it. I mean, there's no reason not to. And I like this. I like what Tony's doing on this play, because you've seen times where coaches have punted it away, and I don't see what purpose it serves. Plus, the other thing is, if you're the Miami Dolphins, Chad Henne got hurt last week, but he's number 3 tonight, which means that there's a prospect that in the not too distant future, you can get him back and be your starting quarterback.
4th and 6. Thigpen with time. Devon Best gets hammered by Danielle Manning, incomplete.
That hit caused, that's Danielle Manning the whole time. That's the kind of football that Rod Marinelli's talking about. And when you talk to him about football, he preaches team, he teaches selflessness, he preaches hard hitting and getting to the football.
And let me just add this. When you're a quarterback, that's how you get your wide receivers destroyed. Throw it high up inside on a deep pass, and the safeties are just going to nail it.
What do you call that, hospital ball?
That's it. That's like...
Danielle Manning.
Mike Nolan's done a good job, but he's taken what Bill Parcells has put in place here and built on it.
Forte keeps his feet, fights to the Miami 45-yard line, and Miami will use their second of 3 timeouts with 3:46 to go.
Game tonight.
And the Bears have run it for 138 yards. Slant, first down, Johnny Knox. Working on Sean Smith, gain of 7.
Now that's a Jay Cutler throw.
That's a heck of a throw there, Joe.
That's a laser. This is what Jay Cutler can do. There isn't a throw that he doesn't believe that he can make. This comes from the hip. I mean, it's low where you want it.
Look at that coverage.
It gets in before Sean Smith's arm comes down.
That's good catch, great throw, good coverage. I mean,
I'll take a look back at what transpired here tonight. Tyler Thigpen, ball deflected by Julius Peppers, picked off by Charles Tillman. Brian Urlacher, one of 6 sacks tonight. Julius Peppers has 3. Matt Forte with the game's only touchdown. 3 Robbie Gould field goals. All Chicago here tonight with 1:48 to go. Closing in on win number 7 on the season.
Brandon Marshall injured. Got a hamstring problem. Don't know how that'll affect the Dolphins offensively.
Marlon Moore didn't get out of bounds.
you see Charles Tillman there? That's what I was talking about with that Velcro. Okay, he got blocked, he disengaged, did not stay blocked, and then got in on the tackle.
So he doesn't get a loaf.
He does not get a loaf. That's a good player. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. It's one of the most underrated corners in the league.
Middle of the field, Moore again out to the 41-yard line. Ball came loose down by contact. Dolphins have been shut out at home only once in the last 40 years. 2001 against the Jets, 24-0. Jets factor into another line as well. Thigpen, Hartline, tackled at the 48 by Lance Briggs. Chicago last pitched a shutout in the 2006 season in New Jersey against the Jets. They won 10-0. That's the year they went to the Super Bowl in 1922.
I knew you knew that.
Trying to help you, Joe. Low snap to Thigpen. Under pressure again, avoids sack 7. Completes it to Anthony Fasano at the 41. It's been a quiet night for the Miami tight end, who's had a good season. Just signed a new contract extension.
Get up under the center and ground the ball. He's lost 4 plays in this drive because they haven't grounded the ball.
Thigpen, Ricky Williams. And that'll do it to the 29 after a gain of 12. Lovie Smith and the Chicago Bears, the first team in NFL history to reach the 700 win mark. And they do it in convincing fashion in Bears style with defense and a shutout. 16-0 the final score.